Good day, blessings, and welcome to Imago Spiritual. I went to bed after 1 last night. It was the latest I've gone to bed in quite a while. I typically go to bed at 8 a.m., 8:30, and I noticed my brain's a tiny bit foggy this morning. So anyway, welcome to Imago Spiritual Learning and Wellness. And be still and know. I decided to add that to the banner on the YouTube channel as a tagline and as a reminder, right? To be still and know. And the tea this morning, if you notice, is a kind of a golden color. It's beautiful. It is turmeric or everything organic, you know, but turmeric powder, ginger powder, and then with some black pepper to activate the curcumin in turmeric, and some coconut, raw, unrefined, virgin coconut oil, yada yada, all that good stuff. And that is because turmeric is fat soluble. So the black pepper is needed to activate the curcumin, which is the active ingredient that initiates, the sequence of benefits for our bodies. And the coconut is because turmeric is fat soluble. And so when I learned that, so it's best to consume it with a fat of some kind. So I just add some coconut oil. And it increases the bioavailability of the turmeric, which is better because the more that we can integrate into our system, the less we have to be concerned about the oxalates in turmeric that can be hard on the kidneys. So anyway, it's a delicious, it's an anti-inflammatory, it's an analgesic, reduces pain, and antibacterial, antifungal. It's just all around, just a wonderful treat. So this is my breakfast. I don't eat breakfast. Just do something like this or nothing. And it's bitter. It's not. I don't drink my teas because they taste good. Who cares about taste? And I learned that when I was a boy, and because my father got into health, and he would make me eat all these like steamed vegetables and this and that and crazy stuff. I thought it was crazy at the time. Now it's just a tremendous blessing because I carry it forward into my life and integrate his what he taught me and what he led me to learn, because he would just give me books to read and force me to read them. I'm really thankful for that. Thankful that I did. I was usually pretty obedient, and it's just benefited me hugely. And well, anyway, he would introduce all these foods and all these things, and I would say, "Oh, Pop, I don't like the way this tastes." He says, "Who cares how it tastes? It's good for you, so eat it." And that was it. It was final. That was the final say. And so I conformed, complied, and it's all good. So I'm really thankful. Um, and Man, so many thoughts, so many things going on, you know, within my mind, within your mind, in my life, in your life, in the lives of all, and and you know, and I'm really clear on this with Imago Spiritual Learning and Wellness. This is not meant for the masses at all, right? Numbers, I don't care about. If I get one individual watching and can watch the whole way through, um, that's the blessing, And if a comment is left, that's awesome. Although YouTube, I notice, has been like deleting comments and stuff. I don't get that. That's really, and so I looked it up, and it said because of some um, community violation. It's just like, so I doubt that this is going to go on very much longer. Um, but I'm not trying to reach the masses. It was revealed to me years ago, um, in an experience, that it's not about numbers, right? That's not the point here. So I don't care about that. All you need is one. That's all you need, just one. Um, and however, what I do realize is that, through, for example, through my personal, private kind of mystic rituals, and mystic, by the way, is not like, consulting with spirits and entities and all that. No, 100% no. Why would I do that? I have my own spirit to consult. I have my own spirit that knows me and knows all better than any entity or whatever. If you want to do that, that's fine. Okay, no problem. That doesn't work for me. I have my own spirit. I mean, my Christed one within, the anointed one within, the awakened one within, the Buddha within, the ascending one within, the butterfly within, encapsulated as, in the word spirit, Holy Spirit, Imago. That's my advisor. That's my counselor. That's where I draw my wisdom from. And if there's no answer readily available, I just wait. That's it. I just continue on and let the silence speak. And in time, understanding will come through. So I'm really clear on my process here, and I'm really clear with my intention here. So now here's the thing: is most people cannot put up with my speaking style. You can't. Why? Because you're an addict. You're addicted, and that's just truth, man. You're a dopamine addict, right? So you scroll through and you likes and you watch your TikTok videos and your shorts and your attention span is, now you can sit in front of a TV and watch a movie, right? Because they know how to manipulate the senses and the mind. They being the movie makers, Hollywood, right? So there's an art obviously to movie making, and there's also a definite science in terms of the manipulative nature of the media that we take in. But anyway, it all amounts to a dopamine fix, a dopamine fix, a dopamine fix. You can see something funny and you find it funny, but you don't even laugh because you're on to the next thing, and you're on to the next thing, and you come across some kind of deep quote. It's like, wow, really, that's deep. And you're on to the next thing, you're on to the next thing. So I get that I've got to plug in my computer. I get that, most of us are just not going to be able to sit through this. And that's fine. I get it. It's all good. However, man, don't cheat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. There's good stuff here. There's good stuff everywhere, especially in our pain and suffering, which most of us avoid through distraction, medication, imbibing substances, things like that. So no, this is intended for the one or the ones that don't care about the messenger, because the messenger doesn't matter. The who doesn't matter, and we live in a society where it's all about the messenger. It's all about the person, and it's all about, like, are they an expert or are they not an expert? Do they have a degree in this and this and this and that? Are they certified in this and that? Where does their authority come from? Oh wow, man, that brother is powerful. That sister is powerful, and that And then we're willing to take in the message. But what if you hear something profound, the very same message, coming from an individual who's living under homeless circumstances? Like decades ago, I sat in a Boston Commons. It's like the Central Park of Boston, for those who've never been, like my brothers and sisters perhaps back in the Bronx. Boston Commons is the Central Park there in Boston. And so I was sitting on a bench one day. It was a beautiful day, pleasant day. And this brother comes and sits down on the bench next to me, just a couple feet away. And it was obviously from his appearance and everything that, he was on the streets and things were not going too well for him. So anyway, I don't know. I don't remember how conversation started between us. I don't know if I sparked it or he sparked it. In any case, we had this conversation, and it was mostly him talking and me listening. And I was about like 19 at the time, maybe 18, 19, 20. And man, he shared with me some profound things that still stick with me to this day. And I still think about him, and I still think about that moment. And because of what he shared, I didn't judge it because he was a human being living under homeless conditions. People would dismiss it, man. Most of us would just dismiss it, you know? No, no, you got to keep yourself open and keep yourself off that dopamine, those cheap dopamine fixes, man. You know, we're addicts, man. And you got to get real with yourself. Most of us are full of, yeah, I want to say it, full of sugar honey iced tea. And the prettier we make it sound and the prettier we look, um, not that that in itself is a precursor to being full of sugar honey iced tea, but it's a nice cover. It's a nice mask. You know, it's a nice mask, and we're all wearing a mask, right? We're all wearing a mask. Personality. Oh, I like his personality. I like her personality. Well, it's persona, right? Which means mask. It was the masks worn by theater actors in ancient Rome. That's where the word comes from. They all wore persona. They would wear a mask as they played their role. And so a person, a personality. I choose to gravitate towards being a possibility. Not a person, you know, of a certain personality, but a process of a possibility. And so, and these are distinctions that I've made in my own mind that work for me, you know. And I'm probably not going to share them because you I just think just most people just don't get it. Are not interested in getting it. We just are after the dopamine. That's it. Anyway, I wanted to share about, like I said, so much going on, and oh goodness. So I want to share a bit. Just what's coming to mind right now is just from a recent encounter that I had about getting honest with ourselves, and then being willing to acknowledge that and to be vulnerable, you know, to be willing to feel that shame and that embarrassment that it might cause us to feel if we open up about a certain thing about ourselves. Because maybe perhaps we have an image that we seek to protect. So we always seek to present the best face possible, the best presentation of ourselves as possible, in accordance with the person that we seek to project ourselves to be in the minds of others. And we protect that image of ourselves, that projected image. We call it reputation, perhaps. You know, I prefer character. Character is deeper than reputation. Character is, is our moments alone attest to our character. Our moments alone attest to our character. So yeah, we can fool others. We may even be able to fool ourselves because we're so full of sugar honey iced tea, and so we're so self-satisfied and just happy with ourselves. Happiness. That's another dopamine fix. It's another hypnotist trick. Hypnotrick. That's what it is. It's a hypnotrick. Happiness. Got to be happy. It's a hypnotrick. So the willingness to get honest with ourselves, the willingness to get honest about ourselves. Because when we get honest with ourselves, man, that can be rough. That can be really, it gets ugly. I know in my case it does. But you got to get in there and you got to face your demons, man. You know, you got to face your demons. And don't judge the where you're at in life solely by the circumstances that are in place and the conditions that are in place in your life. The conditions and the circumstances are not the totality of the indication of where you are internally. They're not. Because you can have folks that are just absolutely rotten in their intentions. And man, their circumstances are phenomenal. They are wealthy financially. Um, they travel the world and they are in the company and in the society of, the highfalutins. Um, they occupy a higher station in life. They're looked to with admiration and respect by all, by envy, by many. And, or they're looked at with envy by many. And so, but that in itself is not an indication of what they are. Obviously, they're doing something right that's working out for them, and blessings to them for having in place for themselves circumstances that are favorable to their enjoyment and to the pursuit of what's pleasurable to them, and favorable to their learning, and favorable even to their growth in certain areas of life. But then what happens behind closed doors? Man, if we can have a peek behind the closed door of each and every one of us, so many of us would be shocked, especially if we were to take a peek of those behind the closed door of those whom we look up to with admiration and yada yada, all that good stuff. So, this is what I was alluding to the other day with the word wealthy, right? We think of wealthy and we think of individuals like Bezos. I'm told it's not Bezos, it's Bezos, Jeff Bezos and Zuckerberg and Elon Musk and whoever else, right? And wealthy athletes and actors and business people, the notables of mainstream society. And so we look to them, and and we're just like floored, like wow, they really got their stuff together. In certain areas they do, but man, imagine if you took a peek behind closed doors, or if you could peek into their minds. Imagine if you could peek into my mind. Let me ask you this: have you even taken a peek into your own mind and really taken inventory of what you are and what you're about? Take an inventory of, what principle you're operating under, which gives rise to what possibilities in life for you, which would then sequentially lead to a purpose. What's your purpose, right? And which then helps you determine for yourself what process you're going to employ toward whatever end, toward the vision that that is the sum of all that I'm speaking of with this. And then that can determine your presence. And your presence is not the appearance, is not the outward appearance of things, whether it be your physical appearance or the appearance in terms of the circumstances and conditions that are in place for you. But to be a presence is to be someone is to be a possibility of someone of a character that is there and available to others, to yourself obviously, yes, and moreover to others in such a way that service for their benefit is of the utmost importance and consideration. Not because it makes us look good, Not because it wins us admiration and praise, not even because it makes us feel good, but simply because it's a benefit to someone else. And that's it. And I'm not there. I'm not claiming to be there. I'm not claiming to be a person of this or that, whatever. I'll let the lips of others testify to that. I'll let the testimony of the unseen ones, the holy ones, testify to that. Their testimony is true. So, how willing are we to really get honest with ourselves and to look within ourselves? And then how willing are we to acknowledge these things about us that are not so pretty and not so attractive and not so admirable, yet our honesty and our forthrightness in disclosing things about ourselves and our willingness to be vulnerable can be the very means by which another soul is liberated. Because when someone else hears you get honest with yourself or getting honest about yourself, and notwithstanding that, still you carry on in your quest to really be the embodiment of a process and a possibility of a character that is in harmony with itself and aligned with itself, and by itself I mean S, capital S, with its holiness, with its spirit. This is not religious talk. And if you take it as that, it's all good. But to be an embodiment of something that is damaged and maybe even broken, but that's not the final say of what you are at all, nor is it the final say of who or whom you choose to be. And when others can witness our honesty about ourselves, when others can witness that, then they'll say to themselves, wow, yeah, you know what, I'm like that too. And they will admire the honest disclosure of our shadows, because we're getting real with ourselves by ourselves, right? Taking inventory of our own characters. And they will admire that, and it will inspire them to get more honest with themselves, to get more reflective, introspective, searching the inward parts with the bright light of truth and scrutiny. And there has to be a standard. They will admire that, and they will be perhaps more willing, or certainly they will feel perhaps safer in undergoing that work, because that work is not easy. And then they in turn can search within themselves, get real with themselves by themselves, and then get real with others and inspire someone else. And that river of life, it just keeps flowing and flowing and flowing and growing, flowing and growing. So I had this encounter recently, and I'm not going to get into it, but that's what it amounted to. I witnessed someone who, for the first time in a meaningful way, I heard this individual get really honest about herself, and or at least the beginnings of that kind of honesty and that quest for character, for a shining character, a Christed character. And Christ is my Imago. Buddha is my Imago, and the butterfly. Right? Buddha, the awakening, Christ, the anointing, and the butterfly, the ascending. So yeah, it was beautiful to witness, and I acknowledged this individual for for their willingness, that I felt so incredibly blessed for their willingness to get honest and to openly disclose that, because I know it's not easy. I know from experience it's not easy. But the more we do it, the easier it gets. And then the more that we get aligned and in harmony with our Imago, with Holy Spirit, with Creator, then our discernment sharpens, it refines and it sharpens, so that we don't go around like a fool just sharing with any and every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and Susan, Becky, and Karen, and whatever the heck, and Latisha, and Kwamisha, and Lucretia, whatever, right? Whatever, man. We get stuck on labels. We get stuck on identity. We get stuck. We got to be free, man. Well, are you a person or are you a process? Are you a personality that impresses others, or are you a possibility that inspires others? You got to get real with yourself. The pain comes, it's a teacher. That's Saturn. It's a taskmaster. And the teaching, the learning is rough, man. You gotta go, you gotta die. You gotta suffer. You gotta get nailed to the cross. I have a crucifix on my wall. I have images of Buddha, and I have a crucifix on my wall, because that crucifix to me doesn't mean Jesus. That crucifix to me means me. To crucify my lower frequency, lower vibrational agenda, desires and pleasures, and submitting all to the will of Creator, as revealed in this one, through this one, as this one. So get real, get honest, get free, and it's within us. Stop being scared. Stop going after the cheap dopamine junkie. This, I don't know if y'all can see this, but something just popped up on my. Okay, so yeah, let's stop being junkies, man, and drug addicts, dopamine addicts. You know, splashing around in shallow waters. Let's go out to the deep waters, Well, yeah, there's risk of drowning and getting eaten and all that. Yeah, but the discoveries are just profound. So go out there to the deep waters, because that's where you'll find me. All right, and I thank you. And I bless you, and I bless all that pertains to you. And I bless you in the name of the oneness, in the name of the holiness. I bless you by the power and the possibility of Creator expressing in this one, through this one, as this one. So thank you so much for joining me here for a minute at Imago Spiritual Learning and Wellness. I pray that this is a blessing to you, whoever you are. I know what you are, but who you are, that's up to you. And who you choose to be is up to you. It's up to us. So, and I'm just striving to be real with myself and be real with others, you know. Anyway, thank you so much. Many blessings, eternal blessings to you and to all that pertains to you. And until the next time, have a blessed, beautiful day.